Grand. Good afternoon, it's Cindy from Suede Hills Organic Farm. We have the pleasure of having Clive Langton with us today. And we thought we would make it so you could see kind of an interaction when people come to us and they have questions, in particular health issues or lifestyles or medications that they've been on. And so Clive's agreed to come be our friend on TV. So welcome, Clive.
Welcome. Thanks, Cindy.
Yeah. So Clive's going to give us a little bit of background on himself, and we'll just take it from there. We'll just see how it unfolds. And I want to make a disclaimer. Remember, I'm not a doctor. We're not doctors at Suede Hills. We're organic farmers, but we've lived this, and we have testimonies from hundreds and hundreds of people on the value of the products. So just remember, we're not doctors.
So my name is Clive. Cindy introduced me. I'm from Vancouver. I've been a vegetarian for 46 years. I'm actually 65 years old now. So I've tried and I've been with vegetarian. It's been no problem to do that. And I've been involved with raw foods for about 10 years now. So when I first started raw, it was wonderful. I did it for a year and a half, 100%. I lost 50 pounds, never felt better. I had inflammation go in my body, that pains and aches and everything else that I felt like I was in my 20s. I felt incredible. And then I started to eat cooked food and not really balance myself. And the last few years I was looking after my parents, so I didn't look after my diet. I didn't look after my health. I wasn't exercising as much as I should, or I knew I could and would benefit from. And when I came here just recently to Suede Hills, I checked my pee with the pH strip, and I was 6'4", which is acidic. And I was a little surprised, but not really. So I'm asking Cindy, what can I do? What kind of protocol can I take that's going to bring me back to a healthy balance, bring my alkalinity up? I'm only taking one medication, so I want to mention that, and that is Synthroid for my thyroid. I'm taking 200 micrograms daily. And I have a sugar habit. I love sweet things, and I will go down dirty when it comes to sweet things if I'm given the chance. And I often give myself the chance, and I want to balance myself out. So I know that's acid, and I want to just ask you, Cindy, what is it that I can do that can help me bring myself to balance?
Right. It's all about the pH, right? That's our perspective, is getting the cells empowered and get them alkaline. At 6.4, Clive's about 10 times more acidic than he should be. So I'm going to address different levels of the conversation. I wanted to point out, you can be a vegetarian and be acidic. You can be a raw foodist and be acidic. You can be a vegan and be acidic, because you can do all of those right and you can do all of those wrong. So those aren't necessarily the answer. It's understanding that with that, there is a balance in your body, the acid-alkaline level, depending on what's going in your mouth, whether it's animal protein or not, whether it's sugar or not, whether it's medications or not. These all play out and leave an acid or an alkaline residue in your body. So the number one thing I would ask Clive would be lifestyle. Having been raw, I have to assume you're into green smoothies and things like that. You're open to doing stuff like that, because number one, I would say alfalfa is what you want to get in your diet. It's enormously nutritious, where the roots go to 100 feet deep. It's very alkalizing, and we've had many testimonies from people that are having different thyroid issues, and they find the alkaline aspect of alfalfa helps them tremendously. Some of the people take some medication, don't take as much as they used to. Other people completely got off their meds and went totally with the alfalfa and are regulating with the quantity of alfalfa that they're taking. So again, not being a doctor, I don't know the specifics what the medications are doing, but I do know they're making acid. So and that's probably the biggest contributor to the acidic situation in your body right now, because that's a daily thing, and it's been accumulative over years. How long you said you've been on it?
15 years.
15 years. So that's another thing. Acid accumulates. It can't leave your body unless it's got minerals to actually physically attach to it to escort it out. So besides the food, that's a constant in there that's leaving an acid residue. So assuming Clive is not going off his medication like cold turkey, I would say alfalfa is the number one to go in and deal with that situation. The pH Happy Caps, you can use it as I believe it should be used, is a boot in the bum to help get you up to the proper pH level so that your body can balance out, get rid of the decades of stored acids, and your cells can start to repair. That would be one of the things. And I would say that would be for at least 6 months, could be longer. Phil and I personally, we're vegans, we're not 100% raw. Most of what we eat is alkaline, but we are eating acid-forming foods. So Phil and I, just as a safety measure, we continue to take the Happy Caps. I quite like it. It keeps the bowel movements regular, you sleep better, you have more energy, and whereas other people get infections and colds and flus and things, we don't get them. So the Happy Caps at night is what I would recommend, between 3 and 6, depending. You could start anywhere in there because it's not drugs. You can kind of play with it, monitor your pH every 3 or 4 days. And the alfalfa. And for the flushing, I'd say the olive leaf. Because again, we're talking about decades of stored acids and things like that. And the olive leaf relaxes the blood vessels. It's an infection fighter and immune booster too. But it allows the body to flush the toxins, which is, the alfalfa is going to be doing that as well. It's a natural detoxifier. So there's a lot of good stuff going in, but you have to get the bad stuff out as well as put the good stuff in. Briefly for the sweet craving, the stevia is phenomenal. It has health benefits. In your case, I would think as you start to get more alkaline and your body gets balanced, the cravings are going to go away. Because you're eating a lot of fruit, vegetables, right? You're eating more live things generally. You'll find that the sweet cravings do subside as you get your pH more in balance. That's been our personal experience.
So stevia would be a good substitute, or wait, I could be able to use it in my preparations.
Oh sure, like if you decided you wanted to have a, God forbid, coffee or caffeinated tea. But I mean, if you wanted to sweeten that, you could use the stevia by making the liquid. If you wanted a cold drink, you got to experience. You said I do a 2-liter jug of water with 1 teaspoon of the green stevia, and it makes the water dark green, but very sweet. And
I found it really refreshing.
Yeah, and it's great with fresh squeezed lemon in it too. But you could use that to help curb, because the green stevia actually will curb your cravings, not only for sugar, but for fats, carbohydrates. I've even been told for alcohol and tobacco.
So it gives you a feeling of satisfaction?
Well, it does. It's because again, stevia is not sweet, right? It's not. It's playing a game on your tongue, on your palate.
It tastes very sweet.
I know, but it's not. It has no caloric value. It's not sugar. Your fruit has sugar, and if you have, carbonated drinks and things like that, there's sugar in them. But it's different. So again, being a plant, there's magnified health benefits as opposed to negative side effects like with drugs. So, anything else that?
No, that's really good, because I mean the sugar cravings is something I really have to deal with, because I can spend lots of money and lots of energy buying things that I know are not healthy, but sort of satisfy not satisfy, but they fill that need for craving. Right. So if I can balance that out, I mean that's what I'm wanting to do, and feel better, feel more energy, not feel so tired, sleep better.
If you're doing, like I see lots of people are carrying around their water jugs. Even if you put a little bit of that stevia water in it, it doesn't have to be all stevia water in your jug. Even if there's a little bit, and then you put other water on top of that, just so that there's a little bit in there, you'll get the benefits. But you can drink the whole thing because you're not putting sugar in your body. But if you're having that throughout the day, it's going to be taking away the cravings. You're going to find that's going to address that issue right there. But the underlying thing is get alkaline. Get those cells back to where they're functioning correctly, and they're not going to be grabbing, I want this, I want this, I want this. And all kinds of issues will resolve themselves as you get alkaline. Aches and pains, fog, mental fog. We hear that all the time, like, I have a clarity I've never had before. I'm happier than I've ever been, because we're taking that acid burden off of the body.
So something you mentioned, Cindy, was that vegetarians, vegans, raw foodists can be acidic.
Absolutely.
So what is happening there that would cause them to be that?
Okay, well, that's a good question. With the raw foodists, and Phil and I have done this ourselves, and participated in raw food potlucks a lot. A lot of it's gourmet. They go to great lengths to make these lovely pâtés and all these, and create burgers and imitating foods that they ate before they went to raw. And a lot of the nuts and the seeds are used to do that, to create that. And those are very acid forming. As far as I know, almonds are the only alkalizing.
Right.
Nuts and pumpkin seeds are the alkalizing seed. But when that, basically what happens, my personal opinion is I've seen people take and substitute the fat in the nuts and the seeds in a raw food diet for the carbs, the bread, the rice, and the cooked things, the pastas that they had before. And that's the switch out. So again, it's still pH imbalance. It's leaving an acid residue. You're going to have health challenges and be sick. And a vegetarian, the same thing. There's a lot of emphasis on eggs or cheese and things like that. Those all leave an acid residue. And vegan, again, people don't focus on the fresh fruits and veggies. They're going for all these kind of cooked foods and all the carbs and all that kind of stuff because it still qualifies as vegan. But again, heavy on the carbs. The rices, the pastas, the breads, stuff like that, only just with no animal products in it. So.
Sure.
So yeah, you can be eating your steak and your beer and your wine, and you can be vegan or raw food and still be acid or alkaline.
So my question to you, this is a personal question, is in bringing myself into balance to become more alkaline, how long will it take me?
That's totally up to you.
I realize that. Can it happen?
It can happen pretty quickly.
Okay.
If you want to work with it.
And I have to get rid of the acidity you mentioned before.
Right. And your body will choose what it wants to work on. So I've had people that will come to us and say, I got this horrible pain in my knee. I know I need to get alkaline to get rid of the inflammation, da-da-da-da-da. And 3 or 4 days later, they'll contact us and say, is this supposed to make you go to the bathroom? Right? Because bowel movements require minerals in order to function correctly. And so your body knows that though it's the knee that's bothering you the most, the bowel movements are just, not having a bowel movement is recycling toxins. So your body needs to get rid of that to make it quit feeding the inflammation in the knee. So
with toxins.
With toxins. Now, I went off on a side on your question. Get me back on track.
Well, how long will it take me to balance?
How long will it take? Yeah. If you keep eating what you're eating and you don't change anything in your diet, if you're taking between 3 and 6 happy caps, you can get yourself alkaline, some people within 2 weeks, some people within 3 months. Okay? If you are willing to make some dietary changes, you can change it really, really quickly. Really quickly.
You stop putting this.
That's right. Because your body will now go, oh, I'm getting minerals on a regular basis, and it'll just start getting rid of, things as it sees fit, because your body knows how to heal itself. So I have people that their pH will change overnight by taking the happy caps. And then they're, yeah, and then 3 days later, it's sewered again.
It's gone down.
It's like, that's going to happen. Yeah. Don't worry about that. But if all of a sudden you say, okay, I'm really on this alkaline trail, I want to change my diet. If someone is going to follow like the acid alkaline food list, which we have on our website, it lays it out for you. If somebody really wants to make a sincere effort, they can change it easy. I've had people that say in a week. Lots of people that take the schmunky, the Phil's Ultimate Breakfast with the schmunky, in a few days they're noticing a difference because it's the good stuff they're putting in, but it's also the bad stuff is not being put in.
Right.
So it's a combination. pH is all balance. That's where one day you can be fantastic and the next day you can be horrid. So you have to work on what's your consistent pattern. We're all going to have ups and downs. There's going to be birthday parties and weddings and summer vacation and things like that. That's going to throw everything out of whack. That's life. But it's the day-to-day that you're trying to level out. So I would say 2 weeks you should start to see something.
Good.
Yeah, good. And maybe sooner. But we always like to encourage people to at least have the mindset that you're going to go for at least 3 months, because your cells will start to regenerate and things like that, and that's when you get more of the clarity issues and things like that. Getting to experience them is fun. It's great fun.
Do you think one day that I might be able to give up the medication for thyroid?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh yeah. See, your body wasn't designed for the medication. Your body knows how to heal itself. You just got to give it the tools. Well, you didn't know what the tools were before, and now you're on this journey to do that. So, yeah, as your body should be able to totally repair itself. And again, the cells renew. The thyroid can start rebuilding itself. I mean,
that'd be nice.
well, we've had people. We just had a testimony a week ago from a lady that has had liver issues her entire life. And she's been taking the Happy Caps, the alfalfa and the olive leaf since last summer. She's a customer of ours from the farmer's market in Kamloops. And she was just talking to Phil last week and said that she had just gone for a checkup and she doesn't have liver issues anymore. And the lady's, you know, at least in her 50s. So it's not like this was a 6-month thing. I mean, she's had this for decades. And so when you put good stuff in, your body knows what to do with it. It's real. The green products are all live. They're dry, but they're live. The enzymes are there. So your body just goes to town. You give it good stuff, it'll change.
Well, I'm looking forward to developing my protocol and taking these products, because it makes so much sense. And having come to Suede Hills and seeing the incredible quality of the soil, and the fact that it comes from the Thompson River, alluvial soil, just rich in minerals, and your organic standards and your caring farming methods, I'm impressed. So I'm really looking forward to
you've
using
got
the
some dirt
products.
under your nails even to prove it, eh?
I do.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We look forward to the testimony on the other side.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you. Thanks, Cindy.